Okay, so we're recording this and we'll get the video out to everyone to understand how to log in, where to go, and how to set their password. So there's two different login screen options. Some people will put just the sign up option, which I'm going to show you in a second. Others like these slider pages so they can promote what they do. Some clinicians put a biography and a picture of the doctor in there, along with whatever services that they're providing. You can see that we've obviously taken the images from the Decent Med website, and they will continually rotate through as people are looking at this particular application. There is a simpler version. If you click on this login button down here in the very far lower right-hand corner, it takes you to this screen. This screen and both of those will get you to logging into the platform. So it's telehealth.decentmed.org. The first one is /sign up with the slider pages. This one is /login. Once you get to this point right here, then it allows you to log into the application based on you as an individual. I'm going to show you one other thing. If you do not have a password, your email is your unique ID to log into the platform. If you do not have your password set, you can click on Forgot Your Password. Even if you've never created one, you can do that. You put in your email address right here. So when you put in your email address, it'll then send you an OTP code or one-time password. If you don't see those in the first minute to 2 minutes, check your spam folder. A lot of people's computers are locked down that those OTP codes go into the spam folder. That's a 4-digit code that you're going to have to put in here in order to set your password. The screen will then change, allow you to put your password in that you would like to use, and a second option where you're just confirming the password. Once you do that and you log into the application, then you will have the ability to create your expert page. So inside the expert page, in the left-hand column, you will all have the category in the drop-downs at the very top of expert. There's 4 different category options depending on what your credentials are. There's expert, there's content, there's marketing, and there's admin. If you only see 1 or 2 or 3 of those, it's because of the permissions that you're set for your particular profile. If you're hoping to have more permissions, those would be something that you would need to talk to Sam about. So in here, all of you will have the expert option. At the very bottom of the left-hand column, you're going to see My Expert Profile. When you click on My Expert Profile, it'll then take you to a screen where you can build your profile for you that's unique and specific to your credentials, your specialties, the times that you want to be available. All of those things will be built into the application, however you want to set them up. And we're in the process of running a very extensive script. So this is going to take a couple of seconds to get to that page. Normally it would get there in just 2 seconds. All right, here's the page coming in. I'm also recording these that will be available underneath the Learning Center at the bottom of the page. And you can go to that Learning Center and walk through this whole process and learn that process as well. Sorry, it's taking a long time. We're launching an artificial intelligence or large language model nutrition, and it's now pulling all of the statistics from that, which is why it's taking so long to bring in this page. Okay, sorry about the length of time of delay there, but that script that we're running is very critical. Okay, so in the profile page, you can see at the very first screen that you're going to come into is the profile. And you have to complete all of these different options that are in this center navigation. So in here, you have the ability to upload whatever photo you would like to represent yourself. You put in all the information, the city, the state, the zip, and all of the information. You can add a slogan in, that's an optional, where you can put in any type of slogan that might work with your particular practice. This is also an optional piece, which is your text button. In the system, we allow you to create intake forms where you can ask any questions that you want to find out about a potential client. And after they've answered those questions, you can select by clicking one button. You can create a file for that client inside of Client Manager, which we'll get to at the end of this video. This is optional. So you put in what you would like the button to say under resources or on your profile page, and then the URL of the different form that you create for the patient intake. We have the ability for you to put in a biography. The biography can be anything that you have inside the system. We also have this artificial intelligence piece that if you answer these questions with what makes sense for your profile, it will actually write the profile for you, which you then have the capability of editing to be something different if you wanted to change a sentence or a paragraph or whatever it might be. In the bottom of this, you can see that you can hide your profile from being available on the front side of the system. So if you want your profile to be viewable, you of course would leave that off. You also have the ability to say, I want my profile to only be on this website, or I want it to be available that other people could have it inside of their corporate wellness account or any other type of finder site that we might have connected to our network. Leaving that as an on version just helps you get more business. So if your goal in this is to get more business, I would turn that on. This profile URL does work outside of a logged in state. Inside of the application, and I'm going to flip over to the member view right now. Inside of the member view of all of these pages, you have a resources column at the top of the page in the main navigation. In that resources, per site, you can determine what you want that to say. It could say find an expert, find a doctor, find an acupuncturist, whatever you wanted it to be. When you click on that, or your clients click on that from this member view page, the profiles are going to come in. The only person so far in your group that has completed all of these activities is Bethany, and that's why her profile is showing here. If you go into any of these profiles, the patient intake form clicks from this link here. You can see the specialties that this doctor, nurse, nutritionist, or whatever they have put in. You can see the biography, and you can see the ability to schedule a session based on the 4 different professional options that she has for specialties. You can see those 4 options exist here. If I wanted to schedule a nutritional consultation with this nutrition coach, based on whatever prices that she has put into this particular system, I can select one of those. And then when I hit continue, it's going to go to the last day of the month right now. But if I were to click on May, it'll bring you into all of the options in May and then show you what time slots that practitioner made available in the management section. Now I'm going back to the management section now, and I'm going back to the expert profile. And in the expert profile, you can see all of that information comes in here based on this particular client. And if you want to turn it on or off, and then once that's done, hit save. If you want to hide something, like a number of people don't want their phone number to be visible, they just want people to be able to sign up online, you just simply check that box. if you check that box that says hide on profile, it will hide that from being visible on the profile. You can do that for your street address. You can do that for anything that you don't want to show on the front end. Now we're going to move down to the next one in that center navigation, which is specialties. Inside of specialties, you can start to type anything that you want. It will bring it in, and Sam did add some things like acupuncture that was added in here. So you just start typing what your professional expertise is. It'll bring in all of the options that exist in the platform. So I just added acupuncture to this particular profile. So you have two main specialties. Those show up with a bold font. So if you want to have a priority of two specialties, put them at the top. Any other specialties, and you can put as many as you're capable of delivering, those can go under additional specialties. You have to have at least one specialty inside of here in order to show up on the front end website. Now, testimonials. This is an optional feature. If you have testimonials of clients that you'd like to add in, this is a great feature to put in here because it lets people know, oh, if she could do it or he could do it, I can do it. In adding a testimony, you can do either a single photo with a name. I do not recommend putting in full names for the last name. Just put first name and last initial is most common. I also can do it with before and after pictures, or if I just wanted to do two different pictures, I can select it with single image or two images. Put in a headline that Mary just lost 13 pounds or whatever the issue is that was solved by you, that would be the headline. And then under the review, you'd put the story. And you can add as many of those testimonials as you would like. And those go through in a slider format that you can select which one's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, etc. This is optional. You do not have to do testimonials to make your profile show up. Availability is the next one down. You have to have at least one time slot to be selected, either virtual or in person can be selected. And if you have any holidays that you're not going to be working, you can put those inside of the bottom area as special days that you're not going to be available based on the hours and days that you have made available above. You can set your time zone so that it's matching what your time zone is of when your appointments are going to be based on your time. You can work with clients anywhere in the world that has an internet capability. So if you want to train a client in Germany, you can do that. Pricing is another one of the required options. You have to have at least one option of pricing in order to show up on the front end. All of your specialties are going to come here in this list. If you put a price in, that means that you're available for that amount of time. We have free consultations, and the free consultations can be any duration that you want, 15, 30, 60, 90, or 120-minute free consultation. That means that somebody's not going to have to pay for that to happen. You can see then you also have 15, 30, 60, 90, and 120-minute options. If you do not put a price in, that will not be an option for your customer to select. But you must have at least one of these in the application in order to show up on the front end. Same thing with the preview in your profile. When you select that, you can see everything that you've put into your profile so far. Just so at a glance, you can see what that's going to look like. This does not have the header and the footer in it. So I would recommend that you go to the member view to see what it would look like once you get it completed with the header and the footer and the background imagery with it also. Bank details comes in if any of your experts are making a commission, which you have the ability to set, that somebody can make a 10 or a 20 or a 15% commission if they're referring members to you and that member purchases something from you. That goes into a financial dashboard that you can keep track of what commissions are owed. And then the last part of signing up for this application is the business associates agreement. That basically goes through HIPAA compliance and that you understand that the medical data is something that needs to be HIPAA compliant and needs to be taken care of very carefully. So that just goes through the business associates agreement. You will get a document coming from our platform that you can read through and sign. Once you sign that and you finish all of this, so just to cover this again to make it crystal clear, you have to have a profile, you have to have at least one specialty, you have to have at least one availability, one pricing option, and once you have that and the business associate agreement signed, you will then show up in the member view, which is what your clients will see when they log in under the resources, find an expert, like Bethany Stone's profile is showing up. These two profiles are fake profiles that I put in just to show how they work, how it looks, and how that information is available. The last part of this, I'm going to stop this recording